Alright, so here we are putting 2x4s down to the concrete for skirting. We're putting metal skirting on. Taking metal roofing and putting on there. These are 12-foot 2x4s. Put a tap con every 4 foot. You can do every 2 foot if you want, which will make it better. We put tar down underneath them after we get them drilled. We pull them back out, put the tar down, which we use the tubes of the roofing tar, and squirt it down. Then we put the 2x4s back on and put the tap cons down through. Drilling the concrete is the hardest part. So we got this side here all done. We had to notch around these blocks because these blocks are underneath the stairway where you walk in and out all the time. So these are actually going to support it here. They're the same on the other side. And so we got this side here done. But I'll explain how we get our level here. Alright, so here's how we get our plumb. I got a piece of plywood here. It's like a 1/2 inch plywood. And we just stick it up behind here where the skirting is going to go. And we set it there like that. So now we take the level and we put it on here until we get that plumbed up. And right there is plumb. So then I take a marker and I mark it right here. Then I go ahead and I do the same thing with this corner. And then we mark a nice corner right here. That gives us our plumb mark all the way down for both sides. And we'll have to go down there and do the same thing on that end. And then we use the chalk line and snap a line from the line on that corner down here. And that gives us our straight edge. And the 2x4 stays on the inside of that line. So the 2x4 would be sitting back in here and the outside edge would be right here. So that's pretty simple. This was the easiest way in doing it. Trying to do a 2 foot level when you got a 3 foot span doesn't work. Try to use a 4 foot level. Now you're off a 1/4 inch or whatever, then you got to measure back and everything. It's just easier to do it like this. You can use a piece of plywood, piece of luan, anything that's going to be straight, a piece of metal. As long as it sticks up behind here, you're good with that. So we'll get busy with this. So then we mark our corner like this with the marker at the bottom of the plywood, and then just square out the point and everything so we know where our 2x4 ends. And then we snap the red chalk line all the way down through. Use the red because the red doesn't come off as easy as the blue. The blue just blows away. So use the red if you want it to stay. And then we pre-drill the holes in the 2x4s with a wood bit. So the tap con, the concrete drill bit doesn't have to do it. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Alright, been working on the skirting on this mobile home. So let me explain how we were doing this here. Little Miss Kira will come over here with the camera. We did the 12-foot 2x4s treated for on the pad. And we put a tar out of a tube, so we used the caulk gun, squeezed it down in there. But we snapped the lines and everything to get our straight line. We drill the holes through the wood with a wood bit, and then we would pull the 2x4 back off after we drilled the concrete holes. And then we'd put the tar down, put it back on, and then put the tap cons in. And these are the tap cons. And we put those tap cons down in there. These ones, a couple of these didn't go down in all the way because the concrete was just too hard. The bit was getting bad, but that's okay. And then as we go along, we got done. We ran our boards up and down. So they're toenailed up here and toenailed down here. If you don't want to toenail them, you can make a T. You can put a 2x4 across the top right here and screw it to the bottom of the mobile home. Just a 6-inch piece of 2x4, screw on each side. Same thing on the bottom. You can do the same thing. It's just, you know, it's 1.5 inch 2x4, so 1.5 inch on the bottom, 1.5 inch on the top. Your measurement's just 3 inches shorter. And then you can just screw straight down if you can't do the toenailing, because toenailing is difficult for some people. Well, we got all the way around here. We did everything on the concrete first. If you look here, on the very bottom of this, we're actually adding more tar on the outside of this, out of the caulk tube, and I'll show you that here in a few minutes. We run the tar all around this outside edge here, so when the skirting goes on, it pushes up against that. Hopefully no water is going to get underneath there in the concrete pad. Down here on this end, when we did the corners, we did the 2x4s on both sides and screwed them together. And then we get to this funky little window deal here. We had to do the same thing with the 2x4s. Get everything so it's all lined up. So it's working out pretty good. It's the first time doing a skirting on a mobile home, but it doesn't seem to be too difficult. I think the metal is probably the most expensive part, but it's coming along pretty good. Let's see, tube of roofing. It's the Roofer's Choice from Home Depot. It's only like $2 and something a tube. It's pretty good. Then we ended up going, it's just for patch, roof leaks, repairs cracks and splits, seals joints and flashing. But it works well on just doing it with this. We did have to switch to a different brand because we ended up going to Lowe's. Come on, kid.
Okay.
We'll be getting the retaining wall put in here soon. So hopefully that stuff's coming tomorrow. And we have bubble foil going on all of this to help insulate it a little bit, keep the heat out, cool out, keep it at a pretty decent temperature underneath there for the water lines and everything. Then we're going to put the metal over top of that. But we'll get to that here soon. And probably another day or so we'll be starting on some of that. Alright. Alright, been doing a lean-to project. So we got this. This is our recycled 4x4s from another job that we did a few different times. So we've reused these a couple times. Put our strips across for the siding to match the shed. And we're also going to do metal around the bottom. Just got the roof on. Had to buy the 2x6s for our rafters. That's a good place to put the lawnmowers and everything. There'll be a window in that back side. We'll close in a little bit here and a little bit on this side just to make it look better instead of a big opening. But that's kind of the project on the lean-to over there. So here we are, just cutting the metal for the skirting. All you do is just put a score onto it, and then you can grab a hold of it and bend it back and forth, and it breaks right off. So that way you don't use too many of the cut-off wheels. Saves a little bit of money and a whole lot of time. So this is how the skirting's looking so far. Got this side here all done. Down here, this is how we're going to do the corners when I get to them. Notch them all out here so they fit nice right up against there. So it'll look really nice there in the corner. Got this end here done, which we did yesterday, and we did this side today. So we got this here all done here. Ran the satellite cable down underneath, notched it out. Got the propane hooked up there. And then down here, we put an outside outlet. So that took a little bit of time, but we got her. Now there's an outlet on this side as well as the other side. Now we're going to close this end in, and I will show you how we do everything here. The beginning of the video shows you how to do this. And you just run boards up and down. I put a piece across the top like a T screwed to it, and then I screwed it up into the wood. It was a whole lot easier that way than try to toenail everything. Toenail on the bottom ones were easy. So we'll get to that. All right. So we'll get this put on, show you how it's done. Put this bubble foil on. It's white on the back side. This came from the Mennonite place, the Amish place. And it's got the foil on the other. So this is the insulation that's going to be used. Gives it an R6. I'll get this one on the side, put it on here. Then we'll do this side. Usually we just go all the way across, but we're putting the door in this section here. Takes a couple staples, hold it in place. We bought a bunch of these hand staplers, hammer staplers, and this boss stitch with a little bit of an angle is better than any of them we've ever bought. Oh. Alright, so everything gets tucked up behind here. So we do the same thing here with this here, we just cut it off the top of this. So as you follow this rib, the blade sits right on it, cuts it really easy. dog is tucked up behind. Yeah. That'll help that.
See what I'm talking about? We should have caulked that, let it dry for about 7 days. That's been out a while, you know what I mean?
Staples done? Well, must have jammed up on me again.
No, no, no.
We'll build the door and be right back with you. Alright, we got the panels cut. Stick this one on here. course, battery's got to die when you're doing a video. Door panel, we just put the foil insulation on here, just taped it on with the foil tape. Left it a couple inches away on each side so it doesn't stick out further than the rest.
Alright, set that down. Get your stable down.
It'll hold.
Actually, we should just get a board.
Need a hand stapler for that.
Oh, we need just a piece of board. So I'm just past that. You pass it over there?
Squishes and seals it.
It's not closing.
It's like the insulation's back there.
Need 3 more.
And that's how that's done. And that panel will just come off when you need to get in there for the water line or whatever. It's just the easiest way to do the door without cutting a small piece.
Or a door with hinges.
So it looks pretty good. I mean, you can build a door with hinges and everything like that, but it's really unnecessary because you don't get in there a lot. So you just remove like 10 screws and the whole panel will come right out. And that panel is over 6 feet long, so you got a 6-foot opening to get in there to work on the water line if you need to. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it out. If you like the video and everything, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Much love. See you next time.